So we've come to an end. I'm not happy about it. I know you guys are not happy about it. But it is what it is. We got a season 2, so that's a good thing. But I'm not ready to say goodbye to this show, at least for like another year, because you know it's not going to come on till like the spring, and that's upsetting. Anyway, I am glad that it did end on a positive note, because y'all know I was scared. I was scared this whole season, especially because Angel's on another show, and I just don't know how that's going to work. But if she's able to work on 2 different networks, on 2 different shows simultaneously, girl, get your coin. I love it. Make it a trend so other artists can do it as well. I was kind of thrown off about it ending so lighthearted, but I loved it. I really, really did. And I'll talk about it later at the end of my review, but I felt like it was so needed. It really, really was, because a lot of it has been up and down, like a roller coaster of emotions, and then we end on this really warm note. So I was happy for it. It wasn't what I was expecting, but I was happy for it. Let's talk about it. So our girl Elektra Abundance has hit rock bottom, and it's sad. It's unfortunate, because you can see that she's so depressed. Every time she dances, she cries, and then they have scenes of her like sleeping on park benches with all like fabulous stuff. She's holding on to her garments, but she's sleeping on a park bench. It's like, she wasn't the nicest, right? But you gotta feel bad for her. Like, how can you not? She went from living this luxurious life of being a kept woman by essentially a monster. This guy is like a monster. To being thrown out on the streets like she was nothing and having nowhere to go. You know, lost her supporter, her financial support, lost the emotional support of her house, and now she's just like going back to something that, you know, she thought she grew from. Everybody knows that when you have to go back to, you know, making a living or going back home after you thought that you were going to make it big, or you had rose, you know, to certain heights in your career or just life, and then you hit, you know, you hit a trial that you're not able to jump through. You like push back a couple steps. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. I've been there. I went from making a boatload of money at this one job to getting like laid off, to losing my housing, to almost losing my car. And thank God I didn't lose my car, because it was the only thing that I had to live in. You know what I mean? So I went from living like hella bougie to living in my car. So that's heartbreaking. You know what I mean? So I felt for her. I really, really did, because I've been there. Like, I'm telling you, the show is relatable. I was just like, I've been there. I haven't slept on a park bench, but I slept in a Kia Spectra. So then I got the thug tears when that curtain rolled up and it was Blanca. I love Blanca, guys. I really love this character. I love it. And then she takes her out to dinner, and I think it's like at the same diner that Elektra took her to when Blanca was really young in the ball game. And I loved it. I really did. I really, really did, because to me it was like full circle. It was like now the child is taking care of the parent, and that's how it is. You know, like essentially like when you get older, you start helping out your parents in ways that you wouldn't imagine. But times are changing. Your parents are getting older and slower, and they need help in certain things. Like recently, I was helping my mom set up her movie pass, and she was like struggling with it. And I was just like, no, it's just so simple. Like, da, 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 da. And it reminded me of when she was helping me with my homework as a kid. And it's like, Nikki, is this? I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. And it just reminded me of that time. And I'm like, we've come full circle. Here we are. The children is teaching the mother. So Pray Tell finds a lover, and I'm very happy. I really, really am, because Pray Tell needs to be loved on. You know, Pray Tell has went through hell this season, and I'm so glad that somebody sees a spark in him, and it's just loving on him and getting him back to where he once was, because you know he lost his lover, and he's dealing with the fact that he has HIV, and he's like really afraid to like embrace somebody else. Like he was essentially sitting back. He was living, but there was a part of him that just he was holding back from, because he had HIV. And I'm thankful that, you know, Blanca set him up on this date, because it allowed him to see that you can still live this part of your life as well. You know what I mean? You don't have to put all of your life into the balls, because that's what you think living is from here on out. Like, that is your mindset. You think because I have HIV, I can't go back to my life before. No, you can still live your life. You can still find love. You can still be loved on, because you deserve it, Pray Tell. And I love that scene, because it showed us how there were people who did have HIV, who still have HIV today, who are in happy, healthy relationships. But at that time, it was extra risky because you didn't have all of the, medicines that we have today where HIV is no longer a death wish, or a death sentence. So I was happy that that was put in, so we were able to see that even at that time when we knew, or it was very aware that people only had a certain amount of time, they were still being loved on. They weren't being shunned away and thrown away, and they were in healthy and happy relationships. So I was glad that was put in, and I was also glad for Pretel because he needs it and he deserves it, and we love him. Blanca is a national treasure. Not only did she give Elektra Abundance a home in the house of Evangelista, but she also got her a job at Trey Chic, which doesn't cater to tunnel and bridge guests. I love that shade. I'll tell y'all, in New York, the shade for people who live in Jersey and who come in through other boroughs is real. I was like a kid and I was hearing about, oh no, because I went to school in Manhattan, and it was just like, tell people that you go to school in Manhattan. Like, it was like a big thing because we had kids coming into the school from Brooklyn, and Brooklyn wasn't like a gentrification Disneyland back then, so it was just like Brooklyn. But to me, Brooklyn was everything because of Biggie, and I'm from Philly, so I'm like, Brooklyn people like, oh no, they came in from Brooklyn. We live and go to school in Manhattan, so it was like a big deal. So I recognize that because all of my friends back in college who went to school in in our school in Manhattan, but had to come in from like Jersey City and Brooklyn and the Bronx. Oh, the shade. Blanca had to tell Angel that she's living with HIV, and Angel, listen, it was a lot for Angel to deal with because she was already like having her heart broken over Stan. But Blanca was like, listen, I need you to get yourself together because you're next in line. Like, I'm leaving this house to you because my days are numbered. So I need you to get it together. Because Angel's just like, oh no, I want to take over this house when you're old and gray. And she's just like, oh no, you might be doing it a lot sooner than you think. And oh baby, Angel wasn't ready. She went from getting her heart broken to having her heart completely ripped out of her chest by Blanca. And this show, and then she was just like, you don't let no white boy from outside of New York City have your heart all in a wreck. You need to get yourself together because you gotta take over the house of Evangelista. And what did Angel do? She got it right together. So Stan's wife is calling the shots. She is no longer this weak housewife that's, the husband leads and he does everything. He came back home. He was like, I think I should come home for the kids. She was like, yeah, you need to come home for the kids because you're going to have to watch them because I'm going to college to get my master. So when the kids grow up and they understand what's going on, I can get out of here and secure my own bag. Work. I wasn't hating on it. I said, yes, girl, tell them. Let them know. You want to live another life. You want to give another woman everything that you was giving me. Fine. We good. I don't want you back, and I'm letting everybody know. I'm going to spare you the fact that the woman that you cheated on me is trans because in this time, I don't need that coming back, and I don't need my business out there on the street like that. But I'm going to let everybody know that you cheated on me. Oh, that's my story to tell. And then when it's all said and done, I'm going to leave you in this house. And then she told him to quit his job, and Sam was just like, okay, how are we going to bring in the money? Get an insurance job from someplace local. Like, he was all for it. And I was like, you know what? Stan doesn't know who he is. He has no idea who he is. Everybody in his life just runs him. And I think he loves Angel, or loves the idea of Angel, because she's free. She's free. She can be who she wants to be. She's unapologetic about it. She knows who she is. And I think when he's with her, whether she's trans or not, he loves the fact. I think Angel is beautiful, right? But I think Stan is in love with her freedom. That's what he's in love with. He's in love with her freedom. Wow. I just surprised myself. Elektra Abundance in this gold winged dress with the bedazzled. I wasn't ready. Sis, work. So Elektra has joined the house of Evangelista, and now I'm like, we have like a super house. This house is untouchable. You got Blanca, you got Elektra, you had Poppy who came back, then you have the two Vogan Vogan boys from Elektra's old house, from the House of Abundance. You have Angel, who serves face and body all the time. Then you have what's his name? You have Darren and Ricky. Like, it's a powerful house. It really, really is. I'm gagged. I was not expecting that, but now I want to see more from that house. I want to see more from the house of Evangelista. Now that Elektra is in it, and now that she's giving her like her good tea and good information to the ladies about how they can, because I want to talk about that scene with Blanca and Elektra when Elektra walked in and she's just like, I just got my first paycheck from Tracy again. I want to give back to you because you were so wonderful to me. You gave me a home, you know what I mean? I wasn't that good to you, and you gave me a home, and you showed me how to be a mother, so I want to give back to you. I love the fact that all she did was put on some mascara. It was like, look at this transformation. But it was enough for Blanca, so it was enough for me. I also love that when she walked away and she turned around and she was like, Blanca, you were always my heart. My friends, my group chat with my best friends, everybody was like, because they're on the East Coast, so they watch it before me. So everybody was texting, I love the show, I love the show. We got a season 2, I love Pose. Like every text that was coming in recently was, I love Pose, I love Pose, I love Pose. And I do too, and I'm gonna say it every time. The show is so good, it's worthy of awards, but it's also so educational. I told you guys, I'm watching this with my mom, who knows nothing about the trans community, and she's learning so much about this show because they're giving you information in such an informative but honest and heartfelt way. You know what I mean? Like, none of it is ignorant. It's just very like in your face, but it's so human. I love it. I really, really do. You were always my heart. Thug tears. Thug tears. And I enjoyed Elektra reading everybody from the House of Abundance. She was like, oh, listen, it went down the line. First up, I'm Viv. Let me let you know. Second, you too, Rico Suave. She got everybody together, then went and won all the awards. And pose, 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 pose. Like, don't lie. You guys are doing it too. We were in my living room. We were just posing, giving face, serving it up. What? Word, yes, season 2, clock. Didn't you guys love when they were walking away with the trophy? Yes, thank you. Oh, I love the ballroom scene. But straight people, just for you to observe. Don't you try to get in and gentrify and change everything up. If they let you in, you sit, you watch, you have a good time. That's it. We don't need you up there voguing and getting awards. It ain't for you, it wasn't made for you. Just observe. Observe. Unless you're invited in like Poppy and myself. It's gonna happen. Just wait. What am I gonna join? The House of Versace. No, Naomi Campbell is already there. We can't have 2 Elektras in one house, can we? So, a little early next season prediction. I think that Ricky is going to go on this I'll Be Sure tour because I knew it. I knew that Ricky was gonna get it. I didn't think that Darren, is it Darren? Lord, now I'm messing up his name. But I didn't think that he was going to get it. But I knew that even if he did get it, there was going to be something that was going to happen where he wasn't going to go because I knew he got the scholarship, right? But I think that Ricky is going to go on this tour. I think he's going to do really, really well. I think that's going to cause some issue with their relationship. And I also think that Ricky is going to fall for somebody else. I don't know how soon it's going to happen, but I feel like that's what it is because it's still something about Ricky, guys, that I don't trust. Although he's warm, I got warmed up to him a lot this season. Like, the way he came in was not the way he left out in this season. So I don't know, I could be wrong about it. I still feel like I want to find something out about him. Like, I still feel like he's a scammer in some kind of way, but I don't think like he's a scammer in a negative way. I think he's scamming to survive, and he's starting to know how to operate in a family because the streets have raised him. But I don't know if he'll be there fully coming up in the next season. But we'll see. I could be wrong. I was wrong about him this season. I done thought Ricky was going to do all kinds of stuff, and he has just been so pleasant to watch. I'm like, when are you going to harm somebody, Ricky? It hasn't happened yet. So I like that. I like being wrong as a viewer. I like the suspense of the show. So I don't have a problem with that. But he still gives me something. I don't know what it is. Same thing with Stan. And somebody wrote in my comment section just like, just because Stan doesn't know who he is doesn't make him a serial killer. I never said that. I said that Angel's storyline reminded me of, is it Venus Evangelista? The blonde chick in Paris is Burning. That's what her storyline reminded me of. But some of you also said that Ryan Murphy said that she was not her. And Venus Extravaganza, I think. And I get that and I totally understand. But there's still something about Stan where I'm just like, I feel like he is... I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he doesn't know who he is, and I think he is dangerous with that. I think the fact that he doesn't know is dangerous, and I think the fact that he is, you know, in that kind of New York, Wall Street kind of job where you just want it all by any means necessary. So I was always feeling like that he was going to snap out and harm Angel and take out all of his aggression from what he's been dealing with at home and at work on her and harm her and just freak out and be like, oh my gosh, what did I do, right? I thought that that's what he was going to give off. I didn't trust him, but I also didn't think that just because he didn't know who he was, that he was a serial killer. There was more to it for my reasoning. I'm not just blurting out things here, guys. I'm researching stuff. I'm taking notes. I'm making sure that when I speak, that I know what I'm talking about. Respect that. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Oh, so then we get, so Aunt Viv from the House of Veracity, she was just like, oh, we are not, Candy, I'm talking about Candy Guy. She was like, oh, we are not going to leave here without a trophy. So she jumps in on Femme Queen Vogue category, and she's posing. She's giving it. And Pray Tell was looking at the other girls, and he was like, yes, work, give it, slay. Then Candy gets up, and he's like, what the hell? Oh no, sit down, say girl. And then Candy picks a fight with like Pray Tell and then the other judges, and all of a sudden she's just like, come down here. Candy runs and gets a hammer, and then the judge pulls out like some razor. He's like switching everything around, and they get into like a fight. And I love the fact that they put that there, because that's what happens at a lot of balls, especially Philly balls. Let me tell you something, Philly balls and New York balls and balls in South Carolina get grimy, okay? You will not sit up there and tell a femme queen that she ain't killing it, or she will pop out a razor and get it, or a taser, child, and get it on and popping. There is a video, I think I talked about it before. There is a video on YouTube of a ball. I think it's in South Carolina, but it was made, one of the moments from that ball was made into a GIF where a entire like picnic table, folding table was thrown, and a femme queen took the table, cuffed it, reversed it, and threw it back. It's become like a popular GIF, and I have used it several times. But it was from a ball where two houses got into a fight because they didn't like what the judges gave one house over the other, and that's what it turned into. So I love the fact that they put that in there. That lets you know these people, like the people in the writer's room, this is their life. They have lived this. They know what they're talking about, because that was so on point, and I'm glad they did not leave the season without putting that in, because that is also something that happens at balls. It gets heated, and a lot of times you don't like your score, or you don't like somebody scoring higher than you, or you don't like the way somebody read you, and your emotions sometimes get the best of you. Accurate. Then Stan comes back and wants to ask Angel to do the same thing that they were doing before, and I'm just like, you just left all of her clothes in a bag with a note, and then you want to come back and say, oh, I'm leaving my wife, let's do it all over again. First of all, why would she trust you? I'm so glad that Angel was in a different place, but she was just like, I'm not where I was before. I've changed. I want something different. Go home to your wife and kids. I'm going to go home to my family. Like, she put him in this place and she let him go. So I don't know what's going to happen with Stan. I really, really don't. But he seemed very heartbroken. Again, he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know what he wants. He's this grown man living this life. And I feel like it was a life that was just placed upon him because, like, for a white male, this is all the options maybe at that time for him to be successful, and he just went with it. But he doesn't know what he wants, and I'm so glad that Angel cut that crazy out of her life and that she lived. Does she live? I was scared. Y'all know I was scared. So the episode ends with Blanca winning Mother of the Year. She didn't even know she was nominated. And when she won, like, Pray Tell gave her this speech, and she said, basically that Blanca is a great mother. She's an example of what a mother should be. She has been a light in so many people's life. And then he was just like, she's also been a light in my life. My sister, Blanca Rodriguez, Blanca, whatever, of the House of Evangelista, and she won Mother of the Year. And it ended with them all going to dinner and just really just being a family. It ended with like a family dinner, and it ended with, of course, me and my mother crying. It was a really, really good episode. Great season. I loved it. There were no casualties. I'm glad. I'm glad it was lighthearted. I think it needed to end that way. Just because for the time that we're in right now, it's a dark time. So although I was expecting it, I'm glad I didn't get what I expected, because I didn't know I needed that ending for this show or this season until I watched it. And I was just like, I'm okay with that. And I feel like I kind of needed it. You know what I mean? I needed everything to be good for them at the end of this. So I was absolutely fine with that. And that's the end of Pose. I enjoyed it. I'm so sorry that life got in the way, and in a good way. And but I am sorry that I wasn't able to get these up to you in time. But I am so appreciative of you guys sticking with me, you guys supporting me, the love that y'all give me. I really appreciate it. Even you guys who don't agree with me, thanks for being here. You keep my comment section interesting. So I appreciate it. Thank you for allowing me into your life, into your homes, or whatever, for however long my reviews are. I totally appreciate it. I hope you stop by for the rest of my reviews. I'm going to start doing more vlogging about what's going on with me in my career. My acting career is starting to take off. Thank you, Jesus. I've been working and praying for this for a very long time. So I'm glad and I'm happy that things are happening with that. So I'm going to start vlogging about that, just bringing you guys in if you're interested. I also have been on a fitness journey for the past few weeks. So I do want to invite you guys into that, just to share what has worked for me. Also to get information from you guys to see like what you guys are doing that has worked, because this is not like something that I'm just doing. It's a lifestyle change. I'm in a different place. You know what I mean? Like emotionally, mentally, financially, like things are changing for me. So I just, I want to look like how I feel. You know what I mean? If you can understand that. And I'm also going to be doing the rest of my reviews, but I also got like a bunch of like swag bags of makeup and hair stuff. I got a bunch of stuff that I want to review for you guys. A bunch of it is makeup, but I got a bunch of other stuff. Swag bags is basically just gifts that you get when you go to like certain events. So it's LA, you know what I mean? It's real easy to get into events, especially if you're in the industry. So I've been going to stuff and just picking up all these swag bags, and I realized that I have so much stuff to share. Like a lot of stuff is probably not out yet in every place. So I would like to show you guys what it is, how I think about it. If you have it, let's talk about it. Show me how you're using it or wearing it, all of the stuff like that. So stay tuned for all of that. And if that is not your thing, I hope to see you for season 2 of Pose, which will probably happen somewhere in the spring. And I think that is going to be the season that snatches our wigs. I feel like this one brought us in, and it introduced us to all the characters. It got our heart. But now we're going to be dealing with some real tough stuff, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of it is going to be concerning Poppy and Angel and Ricky, and then Blanca's health and Pray Tell's health. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. But if you stop by, we can do it and get through this season together. Let's hold each other up. Yes. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I totally appreciate it. I really do. And I will see you soon for something else. Love you much. Bye, guys.